Something very interesting is happening in the SUV market right now, because while the big brands keep charging more, talking bigger, and hiding behind the badge, cars like this are starting to ask a very dangerous question. What exactly are buyers still paying extra for? Welcome back to Accent Auto Channel. Today we're looking at the blacked-out SUV making some very established brands look far too comfortable. This is the 2027 JAECOO J7 Black Edition. Let's start with the front end, because this is where the J7 Black Edition lands its first real punch. The grille grabs you immediately. It's large, upright, squared off, and incredibly deliberate. This is not a front fascia designed to look soft or forgettable. It looks bold, geometric, and properly dominant. That wide rectangular grille with thick horizontal bars gives the SUV a far more expensive visual identity, pushing it into territory where badge-led brands usually feel safe. And that is exactly why this car is dangerous. Then come the headlamps. Slim, sharp, and modern, they stretch the front visually and give it a cleaner, wider stance. The LED detailing looks crisp and technical, while the vertical lighting elements lower down add extra authority. Because in this segment, lighting often decides whether a car looks budget or genuinely premium. And here, JAECOO have judged it very well. The bumper also deserves credit. It looks layered, structured, and aggressive without becoming messy, while the bonnet adds muscularity with a flat, slightly raised design. So from the front, the message is simple. This is not trying to look acceptable for the money. It is trying to look intimidating, full stop. From the side, the J7 Black Edition shows real maturity. The silhouette is long, clean, and properly SUV-like, with a strong shoulder line and tidy glasshouse that make it feel substantial on the road. The black paint helps massively too, giving the surfaces and reflections a richer, more premium feel. Roof rails and the panoramic roof add that upscale touring identity UK buyers like, while the black multi-spoke alloys bring stance, confidence, and just enough aggression. At the rear, the pressure stays on. The taillights are wide, modern, and give the SUV a broader, more planted look. The squared-off rear shape adds proper SUV character, while the bumper feels substantial and well-integrated. Even the lower rear detailing gives it a more assertive finish. Overall, the design is clever. It delivers premium cues, Black Edition attitude, and real road presence without needing a giant luxury badge to justify it. And that is exactly why the big names should be paying attention. Step inside, and this is where the J7 Black Edition starts making its biggest argument. Because this cabin does not feel like an apology. It feels like a statement. From the front seats, the first thing that stands out is the layout. It is clean, horizontal, and modern, with a sensible premium tech approach that instantly makes the interior feel more upscale than many buyers will expect at this level. The dashboard is not overloaded with gimmicks. Instead, it feels tidy, well-proportioned, and properly mature. You've got a digital driver display, a wide infotainment screen, clean central vents, layered trim, and a center console that feels structured and contemporary. And that matters more than people think, because premium feel is not just about adding screens. It is about how everything is arranged. Here, the layout feels calm, expensive, and easy to live with. The steering wheel also helps. It looks thick-rimmed, modern, and nicely detailed, with controls that give the cabin a more serious and more current identity. It does not look cheap. It looks like it belongs in a car aiming above its class. Then there is the center section. The gear selector area, gloss black surfaces, button layout, and storage zones all feel neat, driver-focused, and properly modern. It gives the cabin the kind of SUV identity buyers now expect. Material quality also plays its part. The black seat finish looks smart, understated, and premium enough for the segment. The stitching, texture, and visible cushioning suggest a cabin focused on genuine comfort, not just brochure drama. And the front seats themselves look supportive too, nicely bolstered, well-padded, and shaped for daily usability. Move into the rear, and the J7 keeps making sense. The back seats look spacious, comfortable, and properly usable, while the panoramic roof adds openness and a more premium family-friendly feel. That matters in the UK, where buyers want one SUV that can handle commuting, motorway miles, and weekend family duty without feeling ordinary. So no, this may not be the most extravagant luxury SUV ever made in absolute terms. But for its price, image, and execution, this absolutely pushes into UK market shock territory. because the cabin offers far more premium atmosphere than many people will expect. Now, let's talk performance briefly, because power figures alone do not tell the whole story in this class. What matters more is whether the engine gives the J7 enough confidence, enough torque delivery, and enough day-to-day usability to compete with established rivals. And that is where this sort of SUV has to get right. Against mainstream badge-heavy competitors, buyers will be looking for strong low-end pull, smooth overtaking ability, and enough overall refinement to feel solid rather than strained. If JAECOO can deliver that balance properly, then suddenly the badge argument starts getting weaker very quickly. And honestly, this is the section that could win a lot of people over. Because if the J7 drives as maturely as it looks, then it becomes a genuinely serious problem for the old guard. From the design and stance alone, this looks like the kind of SUV that should feel stable, quiet, and confidence-inspiring on the road. The seating position looks commanding, the cabin looks insulated enough for daily comfort, and the overall setup suggests a car aimed more at composed confidence than harsh, fake sportiness. That is the right decision. Because most buyers in this class do not want a nervous SUV pretending to be a hot hatch. They want comfort, visibility, motorway calm, and that relaxed, elevated sense of control. And if the suspension manages to absorb rougher road surfaces well, while keeping the cabin settled and refined, then this becomes the kind of SUV people enjoy living with every day. That is how markets shift, not through noise, through daily usability. And that is exactly where big brands often get lazy, assuming their name alone is enough, while newer challengers quietly offer more kit, more drama, and more value. Now price is where this car becomes especially interesting, because if this Black Edition undercuts the traditional big names while offering this level of design, presence, and cabin appeal, then a lot of buyers are going to start asking some very uncomfortable questions. Why spend more just for familiarity? Why pay premium money for a badge when a challenger brand is giving you premium-style presence for less? And after-sales matters too. Because for any emerging brand in the UK, confidence comes down to warranty support, dealer network strength, servicing clarity, and long-term ownership trust. If JAECOO keep improving that side of the ownership experience, then the appeal of cars like this becomes even stronger. So, who is this SUV really for? It is for buyers who want premium presence without premium brand pricing. It is for people who are bored of overpaying for familiar names. And it is for families or professionals who want one SUV that looks expensive, feels modern, and still makes financial sense. Head-to-head, this is the sort of car that starts poking directly at mainstream favorites. Not because it needs to destroy them in every category, but because it suddenly makes them justify themselves. And that is where the pressure begins. So yes, the 2027 JAECOO J7 Black Edition might wear a budget SUV label on paper, but visually, emotionally, and in pure market positioning, it is trying to do something much bigger than that. It is trying to embarrass the idea that premium must always come from the usual names. And in the UK market, that is exactly why this thing matters. But now I want to hear from you. Is this the SUV that finally makes the big brands nervous? Or would you still take the badge over the value? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to Accent Auto Channel for more bold automotive breakdowns. I'll see you in the next one.